It's the season of giving. Learn how the Coalition of Osteopathic Excellence works to help our student doctors. Our financial health segment shows us how to get ready for the new year and put our best financial foot forward. And last, it's the best of the best. We check out some of our most memorable stories from this past year. All that and much more. So let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to the DO Pulse, a podcast about osteopathic medicine, community, and education. I'm your host, Sidney Alvarez. Now this podcast is brought to you by Burrell College of Osteopathic Medicine and sponsored by GCU. Learn how GCU is the credit union that can help you meet your financial goals. Visit gcu.com for more. We begin with a look back at 2024 with some of our favorite videos and stories. Earlier this year, Burrell celebrated Women in Medicine by hosting the Rise, Serve, Lead America's Women's Physician exhibit produced by the National Library of Medicine. Check this out. Here's their story. Burrell College of Osteopathic Medicine is celebrating Women in Medicine Month with the Rise, Serve, Lead America's Women's Physician exhibit produced by the National Library of Medicine.
So I think without these women, I wouldn't have the opportunities that I have today. So I think mostly it's just grateful that they helped break into this field and get women these rights.
It's very empowering, and it gives me a self-assurance that there are people that had to overcome higher obstacles and pretty much pioneered the way for me.
The exhibit highlights the contributions of women who changed the face of healthcare.
We have such a diverse student population, and we just want to encourage our students here. I wanted to profile Dr. Antonia Novello. She was sworn in as Surgeon General in 1990, and she became the first woman and the first Latina to head the U.S. Public Health Service. And actually, she spoke here a few months ago.
As part of the celebration, Dr. Karen Nichols, a renowned osteopathic leader and author, spoke to students about the importance of leadership in medicine.
The main message I want to convey to the students is be the best doctor that you can be. And it warms my heart when an exhibit like this demonstrates the history of women doing exactly that.
Other events to recognize the legacy of women in medicine will run through the end of the month, all designed to inspire and help shape the future.
I really want to take advantage of that opportunities and keep providing for women in the future to have the same and even better opportunities than I have had to get into this career path and follow my dreams to go into medicine. That was a great story. Now moving on, we're going to talk about standardized patients, where they physically come in and help our student doctors perfect their skills. Now these standardized patients, they physically act out different medical scenarios. Watch this story. Meet Deborah Setz. She's a retired biomedical engineer, but she's always had an interest in acting, and thanks to Burrell, she gets to act as a patient as part of the Standardized Patient Program, also called SPs.
We see several students throughout the day, and we have to provide the same type of scenario, display the same type of characteristics that would allow them to diagnose our symptoms.
The SPs get a script detailing a current medical problem, and it's their job to act out their symptoms and medical history.
It allows the students to have that social interaction they may not have had prior to coming to Burrell.
The student doctors are taking what they learn in academia and applying them to the real world.
We had our first standardized patient experience, which was very exciting. We've all been waiting for this.
Getting this early experience is very good. And I can tell in the future it's going to benefit me a lot. Until this part it's testing, and now that we're actually in with patients, it's a whole different experience.
SPs work Monday through Friday, various times during business hours, and they get compensated for their time.
So throughout the year, we're looking for more members of the community to join us in both Florida and New Mexico to work in the Standardized Patient Program.
Deborah says this is a role of a lifetime, and it's her small way of helping her community and assisting a new generation of doctors.
It is a feeling of giving back, and it's a wonderful feeling to see them grow and learn how to give that feeling of I'm confident with my skills because I've been practicing with standardized patients.
Ah, that was such a fun story too. Now our next story is about Dr. Mary Lacaze. Now she takes her love for horses to help incorporate into teaching. She tries to incorporate empathy and compassion with her students. It's all about mission medicine. Watch this. Meet Dr. Mary Lacaze. She's riding 15-year-old Goober, a quarter horse. Dr. Lacaze has always had a love for horses. In fact, she uses horses as inspiration for her work. She's an oncologist and now teaches future physicians at Burrell College of Osteopathic Medicine.
I just love the strength and the grace of the horse. The animal is beautiful to me, and to be able to be one with it is amazing. I got into them because of being an advocate for equine therapy for oncology children, my patients. And so I would go out there and I thought, this is wonderful therapy. And I thought, you know, I could de-stress with it too, and I wanted to ride. So I, started riding horses.
For Dr. Lacaze, horses are powerful symbols of trust and a means to learn nonverbal communication. Skills she says are essential to the doctor-patient relationship.
We learn from them, and the sensitivity, it teaches you to focus, listen, and really pay attention, because a lot of us don't listen.
Here at the ranch, Dr. Lacaze says that the horses are helping her learn empathy and compassion. But this is not the only place where the lessons can be learned. Dr. Lacaze brings her teachings right here into the classroom, where she reminds future doctors about patient care and cultural humility. Inside the classroom, Dr. Lacaze lectures on this subject, connecting her experiences from equestrianship to medicine, teaching her students how compassionate care and careful communication are critical to mission medicine.
The 21st century physician that we're training, I think there's a lot of objectives here, and the training of medical students is changing. It really is inner reflection and critical thinking in terms of what they bring to the table, and what they come with when they engage with a patient.
And her students get it. Understanding healthcare disparities and multicultural diversity is real.
I think Dr. Lacaze does an amazing job. The course Mission Medicine is just amazing because it's tying so many different aspects of the community and our community at Burrell together. As a person of color, I think it's really awesome that we have a course that incorporates all these different walks of life. I think oftentimes you don't see that at a school, and you don't see that being offered in a healthcare setting.
As our job as a physician, I think it's definitely essential to, make sure that they are being provided with the compassion and empathy, that they need, to allow them to feel better, but, to also heal better as well.
And back at the ranch, Dr. Lacaze continues with Goober, drawing inspiration to help shape a new generation of physicians.
I'm not saying, of course, that everybody has to work with horses or have a horse or be among horses, but I think that animals do teach us compassion, and I hope to use what I have learned with the animals, particularly the horses, to help students really gain insight to compassion and empathy for their patient.
Hi, my name is Laura Francois. I'm a first-year student here on the Florida campus of Burrell College. We're over here interviewing students in regards to our new regional academic centers, where our third and fourth-year students rotate for their clinical rotation. So come along with us. Hi, so can you go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know how you feel about the new regional academic centers?
Yeah, so I'm Amanda Gonzalez. I'm an OMS 1 here at Burrell. I am from West Palm Beach, Florida. So I know we opened up some new RAC sites in West Palm Beach. So definitely very excited to be able to go back. And I actually shadowed at one of the hospitals that we will be able to rotate in these last 2 years. So very excited to go back. I was there as a pre-med, going to be back as a medical student. And hopefully, match some residencies and stay in practice somewhere in West Palm. So very excited for my community and being able to serve them.
Here we have a first-year medical student. Introduce yourself.
I'm Nicholas Horvath from New York City. First year here, open to match maybe into emergency medicine, orthopedic surgery, not too sure yet.
And so we recently heard that there is new RAC sites in Florida. What is your viewpoint on that?
I'm really excited for them. Again, from New York City, looking to explore Florida a little bit more. When I think back to Burrell's mission and their vision, it's one of the reasons I came here. Building culturally competent physicians, being able to explore different parts of Florida and their unique cultures and populations is really exciting. Obviously, you have the one in the Southwest, which is in that Fort Myers area, and the one down in Palm Beach. Particularly excited for the Palm Beach one, which is pretty close to here. Love this area. Excited to just see it all, honestly.
Nice. Thanks, Nick. So we have another Burrell student here with us today. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know how you feel about our new RAC.
Hi, I'm Nicole Sherman. I'm an OMS 1 here at Burrell. I'm from Boca Raton and Delray Beach, so I'm very excited that we have, in addition to our existing sites in New Mexico and Texas, some more RAC sites around Florida. Being from Palm Beach County, having so many new sites locally is really amazing. It's an amazing opportunity for students to give back to the community they grew up and live in. And one of the hospital sites is actually 2 minutes away from my house. I've had family members treated there. So it's really important to me to know that I will have the opportunity to go back, rotate through there, and be part of the next generation of healthcare workers making a direct impact on the community I live in, and hopefully sort of pass that forward.
Our financial health segment shows us how to get ready for the new year and put our best financial foot forward. That's next. Plus, it's the season of giving. Learn how the Coalition of Osteopathic Excellence works to help our student doctors.
Here's to the unseen late nights, learning curves, and your perseverance. The behind the scenes is where the magic happens. It's where you shape your process and where you don't let anything hold you back. GECU is there to support you through it all with the products and services that you trust, so you can focus on making your own path. Become a member online now at gecu.com.
I'm Shawn Basson. I'm the Executive Director of the Coalition for Osteopathic Excellence. The Coalition for Osteopathic Excellence supports the Philanthropy in New Mexico, Texas, the Borderplex, Arizona, and Florida for Burrell College of Osteopathic Medicine. When you look at the word philanthropy, it means the love of humanity. When nonprofits exist in the U.S. in particular, it really is aiming at a particular piece that helps the people around you. So I think philanthropy is something that you learn as you are growing up. So I really encourage parents to teach their children all about giving back to the community, whether it's through their church, whether it's through a service organization. When children begin to realize what it is that they're doing in the world, impacting other people's lives, as they grow up, they'll find the things that are important to them. I always want to tell people how important it is to find your passions and then activate that in the world that they live. And so in particular in Burrell, some of my donors are the most exceptional people. What they realize is education and medicine are important to them, and how they step up and provide scholarships to students is really instrumental in the lives of that student. But then it also turns around and it also puts a physician out into the world, which is a really necessary skill that we have need for.
Our financial health segment shows us how to get ready for the new year and put our best financial foot forward. That's next.
I got it! We're going to do that!
Hey everybody, welcome back. Now, we're getting ready to launch into a new year, and why not launch in a financially positive light, so to speak. Here to help us is Sergio Cercado. He's a financial coach with GCU. Thank you for being on the show.
Again, thank you for having us back.
Oh, of course, absolutely. You know, it's very exciting because we're kicking off the new year, but we want to put the right financial foot forward, so to speak, right? So I got a couple of questions for you. Why is it important to prepare financially for the new year?
Well, you want to be able to prepare for the new year, as you said, starting off on the right step. It's important for you to be able to identify what financial goal you want to work on. Okay, you want to be able to take a look at your income, your expenses, and figure out what that goal is, whether that be a savings goal, a purchase, retirement, etc.
What if you don't know what your goal is, or how do you prioritize a goal?
Okay, well, I think that's going to be based on the individual. For example, there are going to be some expenses in which we can generally anticipate year after year. For example, if you have little ones, right? From the time that they're in preschool to about 17 or 18, you're going to have that annual school expense, back to school expenses, or the holiday expenses. Right? So
yeah, we're all still going to be recovering from the holiday spending. No.
Right. So my goal is to be able to already have individuals planning for next year.
Okay.
Right? So just a quick example and something to think about in general, right? Just think about how much you spent in Christmas for this year, right? And knowing then that you have, let's just come up with $100 a month for the savings plan, you'll have $1,200 for next year.
Absolutely.
Right? So even if it's not a $1,200 expense that you made for this year, already having that figure in mind and breaking it down into elements can be able to make it an easier process for you to be able to achieve.
Perfect. So what should I do first, or our students do first, in preparing financially for the new year?
Okay, so what you want to do, number one, again, is identify then the income that you're going to be receiving and comparing that to your expenses. Okay, from there, if there's an opportunity to start a small savings plan or to identify the financial goal again, debt reduction, retirement. You also want to make sure that you recognize yourself by setting milestones along the way to help you achieve those goals.
So really, when it comes to financial help, it doesn't matter if you're someone who's, say, maybe a student and doesn't have that much of an income, or someone who's already established and has a full-fledged income coming through. You guys can help anybody across the board.
Absolutely. So at our GCU Community Development Department, we do have 3 financial coaches that can be able to help with all spectrums of finance counseling, which would include budget counseling, credit counseling. If someone is interested in purchasing a home in the future, we can guide them along that process. If someone is already a homeowner and they want to identify a financial goal to better themselves with their finances, we can help them with that. It is a free service to the community, and you do not need to be a member of GCU in order to receive those services.
Thank you, for bringing that up about financial goals, because it's a great segue into, how can I set a financial goal for the new year? How can we do that?
Yeah, so the simplest way is to be able to create what's called a SMART plan. The SMART plan is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. Okay, so you want to be able to identify specifically what's the motivation for you to hopefully continue with the management and or potential sacrifices that are going to be entailing to help you reach those financial goals.
Perfect. Thank you so much. How should I focus on paying off debt or saving more for the new year? As we're stepping into the new year, how can I do this?
Well, it would be awesome if we can do both at the same time, right? But if there's going to be a priority, I would guess that you would want to attack the high interest rate debt first.
Okay.
That's where you're paying more money out in fees. Okay. Now, if I can give a little bit of tip there,
sure,
I would like for individuals to work on both of them at the same time. So the focus should be the high interest rate, but a lot of individuals want to be able to push savings kind of on the back burner. Okay, and that shouldn't be the case. A lot of people want to be able to save a lot of money quickly, but the key is to just be consistent with a small deposit, and it grows.
It takes time.
It does. But the key for me to help my community understand is just start with something small. And that small rock can build into a big boulder in the future.
Absolutely.
So as it accumulates, then the interest and or the additional deposits made, it grows. So yes, would we want everyone to have $5,000 by tomorrow? Absolutely. But most of us don't have the capacity in order to save $5,000 by tomorrow.
And
But
every little bit counts, right? So like, what percentage would you recommend, from somebody's, weekly or every 2-week paycheck that comes in? What percentage would you think you should allocate towards savings?
yeah, I don't know if I can speak to a specific number for percentage, but I would have individuals review their budget. Okay, and assuming that there's a disposable income at the end of all expenses being paid, then how much of that money then can we go ahead and pull out? Okay, we could talk about doing a 50-30-20 plan.
Correct.
Right, where the 30% then is allocated for savings if we wanted to do that. But that number is not fixed. Depending then on the household needs, it could be 50-40. 10.
Right, have a variable, but the point being is save. That is the point. No matter what it is, save something.
Even if it's just 1%, I want my community to start.
Absolutely, wonderful news. Okay, so how can I improve, and we're talking about savings, my savings in the new year? We're talking about saving whatever it is that you can. What else can you share?
So,
stop eating out. That was for me, sorry.
You'd be surprised on how the eating out expense can grow.
Right, because it also goes to needs versus wants, right? And that could be a good plus for savings.
Yes, sir. And it starts again with the financial goal. What's going to be the motivation, right? Because if the eating out expense is causing then for your savings plan to not be as healthy, right? Then again, that's okay, assuming that other metrics are being met within your finances that would reduce the risk of homelessness, the risk of food insecurity, or that you're not current on your credit. If those things are healthy and in place, then you want to spend $1,000 on eating out, go for it, right? But
we don't recommend it. But
we don't. But at the point now that you identify the financial goal,
yes,
right? Now we're going to need to start reducing some of these expenses, assuming that income doesn't increase, because now we have to pull some money from certain categories, right? So if we were used to spending then $1,000 a month on eating out, now we want to buy a house or a home, right? And we know that we need to save for a down payment or closing. Well, we now cannot spend $1,000. We need to reduce that. Let's just say $500. The other $500 we can start depositing and allowing for then our building of savings, so that when we have enough money to proceed then with a application for a mortgage in this example, now we have some money for down payment and closing.
That's great information, but let's bring it back to our students, right? Sometimes students, they're focused on their academics. They may not have jobs at the moment because it's all about school. I guess the message here with them is just continue to save what you can.
Absolutely. So that little savings plan will grow down the road. You want to take advantage of accounts that will provide to you a compound interest if at all possible, right? So for students, I know that retirement is way down the road potentially.
Although it's smart to think about it, but still.
Yes. So if I can encourage then the thought process of considering doing an IRA to be able to help with your retirement account, that little bit that you're contributing now can grow into a bigger pot down the road when you're getting ready to retire.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that information. What are some common financial mistakes that people make when they're entering the new year? 2025 is right here. So what do we do? What do we avoid?
Okay. What we want to avoid is not having a budget in place, right? Not having a clear understanding of what that income is and those expenses. A lot of people also don't recognize themselves as they make progress. So as you're moving along and whatever metric you want to state, great, I reached $200. Great, I reached $400, whatever that is. You want to be able to give yourself some recognition. A big pitfall that I also would recommend, just have a specific financial goal in place. Whatever it is that you want to work on, that's going to be your motivation.
Absolutely. Great advice. Last question, can you look at that camera and tell people how they can get more information?
Sure. So if you're seeking out information, you can definitely reach out to us at gecu.com, or you can follow us on all our social media platforms.
Sergio, thank you so much. And before I let you go, I just want everybody to know what a really amazing person you are. When I first met you, you had long hair. You got really cool, clean-cut hair right now because you donated your hair. Tell me about it.
So it kind of started off as a family joke. So a couple of years ago, we went out to Hawaii for our vacation. And my sisters was like, oh, well, maybe you can let your hair outgrow so when you're running down the beach, you can have your hair flowing in the wind. So I did it. My sister had already donated her hair to cancer patients in the past. So it kind of started off as a ha-ha moment, but then I took it as an opportunity to continue to give back to my community and members in need. And that's what I did.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us. And that's just the quality of people that GCU hires. So thank you very much for what you do, and thank you for your time.
No, my pleasure. Thank you again.
Well, that's our show. If you have questions or suggestions on our program, please send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. Our email is communications@burrell.edu. Also, you can follow us on any of our social media handles. Our handle is @Burrell College. I'm your host for the show, Sydney Alvarez. Thanks for watching, and until next time.